Hi guys, I hope that you are doing well, and today we're going to talk about the lunar eclipse in Taurus on November 8th. Me being a Taurus sun, I'm kind of excited for it, but at the same time I'm pretty intimidated by it because it's definitely different in energy compared to the one in Scorpio, the solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in Scorpio that we just had in October. It's more of a angrier eclipse, and by angrier I mean that it's really gonna push us out of our comfort zone, but it's going to be the last thing that happens this year that really puts an end to something, that has been possibly dragging for a really long time, and something that just deserved to end at this point, needed to end, needed to kind of finish and allow you to step onto some kind of a new path. Okay, it's all being done for something new to come in, something that's more something that vibes with you more. Okay, whatever that may be. And of course, being a sign of Taurus, that's probably something connected to your security in this world, your role in this world, your resources, and so on. And I can admit, being Taurus sun, 2022 has been pretty much a roller coaster, like financially and in terms of resources. And I understand that life is trying to put me on the right path, on the right direction, right, when it's connected to my finances as well. But eclipses are never very smooth and easy. Usually with eclipses we definitely experience let's just put it that way, rockiness when it comes to our security. Definitely it gets shaken up. And this one is like a culmination for 2022. Like, this is what you worked for the whole year. This is what you were, the whole 2022 was leading up to, right? And we will still have that energy in the signs of Taurus and Scorpio until July of 2023, right, when the nodes move into Aries and Libra. That's going to be a completely different theme. That's going to be a different story and a different area of life to focus on. But before that happens, I feel like this particular eclipse is going to really change our direction, or is going to show us where things need to end, where things need to change and transform, right? And it's gonna emphasize on the whole year behind you, what you were working on, and where basically that work led you till this point. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But the signs that are going to feel this the strongest, of course, this is Taurus, Scorpio. You guys are the stars of the show, and I honestly want to say that you guys are the stars of the show in a positive way. I do believe that this is the last clash with everything Saturnian that has been a pain to you, because Saturn has been making a square to the rest of the fixed signs. Saturn has been in opposition, of course, to Leo, and Saturn has been also making a square with Uranus, right, for 2022, for 2021 as well, for a couple years at this point. So it's been challenging. There is something there that Saturn has been really making you struggle with, and this is that last clash for 2022, that last issue to resolve, that last situation that needs to be somehow changed or finished. I don't know, there's something there that needs to be let go of finally, and it's that Saturnian matter, right? Depending on where Saturn is in your chart, that area of life has been it's been a struggle, right? So now with this eclipse, things are finally becoming more clear. There is an opposition to Mercury as well, and this eclipse is conjunct Uranus, so there is maybe some unexpected information that could be coming in, but it will make sense, and it will point out a way how to solve a certain issue that is represented by Saturn in your chart. a lot going on there, right? But Taurus and Scorpio, I think, will actually have a sigh of relief after this is done. And overall, you know, when they step into 2023, especially after March 7th of 2023, they're gonna feel such relief. And I'm excited myself because, you know, I'm a Taurus sun, I'm a Leo moon. I've definitely been experiencing the oppositions from Saturn, the squares, the squares from Uranus as well, that's been in Taurus. You know, that's been a journey. So fixed signs, just hang on just a little bit longer. Things are going to be normal again soon, especially starting March. But for the rest of the fixed signs, which are, well, Aquarius, of course, because Saturn is in your sign making these squares, and Leo, you guys just need to buckle up. Same thing for you. You know, things are gonna be resolved very soon. There isn't much time left. Whatever is the biggest issue that's been coming up for you for the last couple of years, it can be faced again through some kind of means of you know, communication, information, letters that you have to deal with once and for all. And while, yes, the flavor, I would say, of this eclipse is pretty challenging, but again, it's a lunar eclipse after all. Things are culminating, and not just for the last 6 months, but I would honestly say for the last 2 years. Okay. Now, signs that are going to benefit from this eclipse energy: Virgos and, oh my gosh, Capricorns. Virgo, Capricorn, rising, moon, sun, especially sun and rising are going to benefit here. And in this case, you know, something pretty frustrating could be coming to an end, and you are excited about it because you come out successful, you come out with some sort of rewards. You definitely feel the shift in the positive direction sooner, maybe sooner than other signs. Okay, and neutral energies, but the energies of opportunities will be given to Cancer and Pisces, okay, because the eclipse in Taurus is going to be making a sextile to you guys. So this is kind of like a green light, you know, a green light to finish something up, to consider a new direction. It's not gonna necessarily kick you in the butt, you know, it can, but not as strong of a kick as for the rest of the signs, like for example fixed signs and you know, yeah, most likely fixed signs. But that's what I wanted to say as like an intro. I am currently offering yearly readings. Yeah, so within the yearly reading you get solar return or two depending on when your birthday is. You're getting transits to your natal chart, and you're also getting some progressions there as well. So if you want to order that, I will have a link down in the description box and probably in the comment section. But let's start with Aries. Hi Aries, I hope that you are doing well. So for you guys, this lunar eclipse is happening in your second house. So that is definitely a frustrating situation regarding finances, especially for Aries rising. This has been a fight. This has been a fight for a long time for your stability. A fight, I'm sorry, with someone that is possibly an authority or someone that has power over you in a way. And you've been trying to defend your resources, to defend your stability possibly for the last either couple of years or maybe the last 6 months. Well, now some kind of piece of information, letter, some kind of a situation may come up, and seemingly unexpectedly, that allows you to break free out of this rut, out of this unpleasant financial circumstance. This could be maybe paying off a debt, and I wouldn't say that it's going to be so easy to just find the money to pay something off once and for all. You know, there is some work involved here, but I believe that it's very much, you know, it's very manageable, it's achievable, and there is a sigh of relief there because some kind of financial burden could be coming to an end. Of course, you know, in other ways, depending on also what's in your chart, this could talk about maybe you quitting a certain job, because sources of income are shifting here. So you could be receiving some surprising news from work, and that shifts your, you know, your sources of income. Shifts them in what way? Maybe you lose one source of income, maybe you gain one source of income, maybe something changes there. Maybe there will be more of passive income starting from 2023 rather than, you know, regular sources of income. So overall, you know, your money is on your mind, stability is on your mind. You are looking for different ways, possibly how to sustain yourself financially, or maybe someone else. And there is that final battle between you and someone that's been holding a grip, almost you know, it could be a community, it could be possibly a situation between you and someone that's older than you, that like you haven't been able to fully spread your wings financially, right, in terms of your stability. So it's ending, and congratulations, you know. And even if you do lose a source of income, this doesn't mean that everything is lost and basically, you know, that things are changing for the worse. No, it's just the beginning. It's not an ending. It's just a beginning of something new, incredibly stable, something that makes you feel secure about your life. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Taurus. Hi Taurus, I hope that you are doing well. You guys, me as well, being Taurus sun, you definitely are going to experience a change. But honestly, you know, it's not just this eclipse. It's not just this eclipse. You know, the whole timeline of the nodes being in your sign and the opposite sign of Scorpio, right? This has been that life-changing energy, and for some people it could have shifted a long time ago, you know, when the transit first started. For others it could shift even sometime in summer of 2023, right before, you know, the nodes leave the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. You know, for everybody it could be different, but for me personally, I've been already experiencing a change with you know, the nodes being in my sun sign. So what can I say? If you are a Taurus rising, especially if you are somewhere around between 15 to 20 degrees, you're gonna feel this the strongest. But I feel like every Taurus rising will feel it, because that's the eclipse that's happening in your first house. So a lot is changing here in terms of how you perceive the world around you and how you perceive others around you. You are experiencing almost like an identity crisis this year, but at the same time, like a lot of excitement, because something is shifting in your life. It's like crisis on one hand, but excitement on the other, because while maybe you are a little bit lost still, you know, what path to choose, what role to choose, what role you should be in, at the same time, you know, you are experiencing a lot of growth, a lot of emotional, spiritual, mental growth, possibly professional growth. Sometime this year you're learning a lot of new skills. You are definitely evolving on the other hand, and I feel like you're starting to really look into that more positive direction now, rather than kind of focusing on that potential identity crisis that you have started this year with, you know, because it could be that maybe you may have felt confused. You know, Saturn is there squaring you from your 10th house, you know, your role, your identity, your public image, your reputation. It's like you're not exactly sure what you're supposed to be. You have been lost possibly since 2020, but now you are regaining confidence, regaining sense of belonging to something, right, to some kind of a community or to some kind of a cause. You are definitely becoming stronger and more self-confident here. And guys, eclipse is in the first house. The first house is basically an umbrella for all kinds of different things that could be occurring there. You know, anything from meeting the one, divorcing, getting married, buying a place, selling a place, moving across the ocean, you know, possibly, I don't know, changing a job, right? There are so many things that could really happen there. I'm not going to tell you specifically what, but whatever happens, whatever kind of comes to an end, you know, and this is like the final battle with something that has been restricting you badly, you know, a certain image in your head about yourself, certain pattern, you know, that you're so used to, an authority figure possibly that has been restricting your movements. Everything that has been restricting you, you're facing for one last time, I believe, you know, at the end of 2022, to finally be done with it and move into 2023 with a lot kind of like easier mindset possibly, and less blockages, less restrictions. Of course, like I said earlier, you're probably gonna feel it more you know, after March of 2023, but still, even now with this eclipse, there's something major that can finally end and be lifted off your shoulders. And it's a little scary, but at the same time, you trust it. It's like, yes, it's scary, it's definitely out of my comfort zone, and yet I'm going for it because something is telling me deep down that it's right, it's the right thing to do. And it probably is the right thing to do. If you're a Taurus sun, this can happen in other areas of life, unless you are a Taurus rising and Taurus sun. But for you, you know, especially if it's hitting your sun somewhere between 15 to 20 degrees, you're gonna feel it very strongly. And this is your identity. Similar to the first house, your identity is somehow shifting. You're letting go of an old pattern, pattern that no longer serves you. You don't identify with something anymore, or maybe with someone. You're ready to take the next steps forward towards your stability, towards your overall security, and you may feel a little bit intimidated, a little bit scared, and yet you understand that this is almost like the only way that you have to take right now, because that's what makes the most sense. And you're stepping into that almost like a dark place, you know, because you don't know. It's hard for you to predict what's going to happen, but there's something reassuring about it, that, you know, there is light at the end of this tunnel and that you're gonna come out successful. So that's what I wanted to mention to you, dear Taurus. Keep in mind that there could be some nervous tension happening here. Uranus is in your sign, you know, conjunct this eclipse. You may feel somewhat nervous, somewhat anxious around, you know, 8th or 9th of November. But yeah, that's all I wanted to mention. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Gemini. Hi Gemini, I hope that you are doing well. So for you, the eclipse is happening on the in the 12th house. 12th house to me is a house of, not to me, but it is the house of endings. And it's a lunar eclipse, right? Something is ending. So it can quite literally indicate that a certain cycle is coming to a full circle and something is ending for good. Something's ending permanently. Yes, it can be a loss, okay? It can be a loss. However, you know, based on what I'm seeing here, kind of like the planets that are involved there as well, I feel like this is a past situation that has been coming up and has been coming up very strongly, like almost in your face for, I want to say 2021, and for a good duration of 2022. This situation from the past is gonna be stopped now. You know, it's like you no longer can take it, whether it's a person that continues showing up from the past or a painful situation. It's usually more unpleasant rather than not, okay? So there is some kind of situation or relationship that will be put to an end because you can no longer take it, and there could be some information that comes up, something almost out of the blue, and something that was hidden from you before, you know, that comes up. It makes more sense now. You're able to close that chapter and no longer have to worry about it, no longer have to come back to it. There could also be finally an immigration interview that comes up, and the invitation is very surprising and unexpected. Maybe you thought that it would happen 6 months from now, and it's happening like in December or November, and you're like, oh gosh, you know, this is definitely very unexpected. But because, you know, there is Uranus involved and Mercury involved in this eclipse, it could be manifesting in form of letters, in the form of some kind of notifications and announcements, right? And if you are trying to, let's say, immigrate, this could be it, you know, this could be immigration contacting you finally. But there is an unexpected element to it, an unexpected information coming about, you know, a certain situation from the past that keeps coming up, you know, unexpected information maybe from immigration, unexpected information from court as well, if you are involved in anything like that, especially if this is something that's going on behind the scenes for a little while. Also, this eclipse can indicate that you are no longer going to be hidden. Maybe you are getting out of a certain institution, maybe you're, I don't know, you're getting out of some kind of a place where you were hidden from the world. Maybe you are coming back from some kind of a long retreat, I don't know, but you are almost like, enough is enough. 2022 is the last year of me hiding, especially for Gemini rising, okay? Now I'm coming out, and now I'm ready to show something to the world. Like, I'm ready to act on my dreams. I'm ready to be noticed. I'm ready to be recognized. And this can really be anything, you know, this could be a work project that you're finally gonna start working on, but something takes you out of that dark place. Something drags you out of the hiding. It's not you just making a decision. You may make that decision, but something's gonna pull you out of there, halfway at least. And, you know, I think it's good for you because it opens up new horizons, especially after March of 2023. You're gonna be able to travel places you want to travel. You're gonna be able to maybe sort out a certain legal issue that you couldn't sort out for the whole 2022 or maybe even 2021, okay? And things are overall looking up, and you're no longer gonna be working behind the scenes so much. If anything, you're gonna be working more out in the public eye. And, you know, especially after July 2023. But anyway, I'm preparing yearly horoscopes, and I'm going to talk more about that in those videos. But overall, yes, something hidden is being resurfaced. You deal with it, and you no longer have to take that anymore, okay? Immigration is a big one here. And what else? Coming out of a dark place of some kind. You know, the more this year is progressing, kind of like the more the transit of the nodes is progressing through the signs of Taurus and Scorpio, the more noticed, recognized you become, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Cancer. Hi Cancer, I hope that you are doing well. So for you, lunar eclipse is happening in your 11th house. So 11th house seems to me that you're gonna reevaluate your long-term goals and long-term dreams. Honestly, this could be a major reward actually that's coming, since, you know, you're a Cancer, and this eclipse is actually smiling at you, more like winking at you. You know, it's like, yeah, you have a green light to do something that you want, you know, go for it. I'm not gonna help you much, but I'm just giving you like a permission. You know, that is the sextile aspect in this particular you know, situation. So I feel like, you know, there is a reward that's coming for something that you may or may have done. You know, it wasn't something that was forced. You know, it wasn't something that you had to do. It could have been some kind of a project that you worked on for a while, you know, whether it's for your own business or like some kind of a social media project, or work-related opportunity, idea, right? Maybe a creative idea, but it's something that you wanted to maybe monetize on. Here you go. You know, this lunar eclipse can actually give you the rewards. It can give you the fruits of that, you know, of the labor where you literally wanted to monetize something, possibly online or maybe within the community, and now you can make it happen. Now it can actually be monetized, or you can be somehow rewarded for this. On the negative note, you could be really surprised by something that either your friends are doing or a community that you are involved in is doing. Not necessarily shady, but more like unexpected. Unexpected, surprising, you know, there could be a surprising, unexpected argument that comes up, you know, between you and the community, but that's how you're given the green light to just leave it already, you know, because with the sextile, you may have had doubts about the community already leading up to this eclipse, and now it's like, oh, so this is happening too? Okay, then, you know, I'm just gonna leave. Like, I'm not even gonna feel bad about this anymore. You know, that's how it can play out. Very gentle compared to other signs, you know, how this can kind of how it can put you in a different community, for example, that you belong to a lot more, right, compared to this one. But that's all I'm gonna say here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Leo. Hi Leo, hope that you are doing well. And lunar eclipse in Taurus is happening in your 10th house. For you, just like for Aquarius, for Taurus, for Scorpio, this is a pretty big event. And for Leo Sun and for Leo Rising, actually, it's pretty similar, you know, because this is your role in life, this is your title, this is your image, your public image, what other people see, how they view you when you are at work or when you are in society. For some of you, you know, your role could be like your social status could be changing. Your role, you could become a parent, for example. You could just change jobs. Just generally throughout 2022, you know, it doesn't really have to be this eclipse specifically. You could have maybe been in the process, like in between jobs, and now something may come around and your title changes because you have a different profession now. You have a different professional title. You could leave corporate world altogether and start your own business. You could start making money passively as well, but it's all leading up to more stability, to more security. And even if something shocking happens, for example, very unexpectedly you find out that I don't know, that something connected to your job is no longer gonna be a thing. You know, maybe some people, depending on how much fixed energy you have on your chart, maybe you could let go of a job, maybe you could get laid off. In some extreme cases, it could be losing a job on the spot, but not for everyone, okay? For a lot of you, just overall, the year of 2022 is all about kind of like getting that stuff together because you are fed up. Fed up with a certain role that you may have, and fed up with lack of stability within that particular area of life. And, you know, when it's continuing to kind of grow on you, you know, all the problems, all the issues, you just end up snapping one day and changing the situation, you know. And the pressure for Leos has been increasing for the last couple of years, and they can really drop something what they've been up to, you know. They can change their role completely this year, and they'll have some time in 2023 to do that as well. But they're definitely ready for stability, for real stability, when they're able to shine, enjoy what they do, and rake up some money, you know, because Taurus is a financial sign after all. But also, I believe that this particular eclipse can point at maybe the fact that you're in the wrong field, in the wrong professional field, and something may happen where it's like in your face, you know, that maybe it's time to change something, Maybe it's time to also watch what exactly you do out in public, like how your public image is. And maybe this eclipse will ask you to restructure something, to be perceived, for example, by others in a different way. I have an example, which I don't know, I don't know if this can actually apply. But one of my really good friends, she's a Leo rising, and she used to post poetry on her Instagram, and she got a lot of attention. People loved her image. Now she changed her profile to politics, and she started posting about that. But aside from politics, she started posting about conspiracy theories, regarding the different government, if that makes sense. Very strong opinions on that, and a lot of people started getting triggered by that. And it's not, it's just a social media profile, but at the same time, if you have a big following, sometimes maybe, you need to be careful with what exactly you say out loud, right? And that counts for all of us who have social media accounts. So from poetry to some really hardcore conspiracy theories, and that was a big shift. And she isn't necessarily getting the nicest attention about that. So maybe this is something similar to where you are choosing the path. You're choosing the path in the public that may or may not affect your reputation, that may or may not affect the relationships with others. But either way, it's going to lead to more stability for you, to peace, to the role that belongs to you, that resonates with you, okay? Whether it's political, professional, social, whatever this may be, okay? But thank you guys so much for watching, and now I'm moving on to Virgo. Hi Virgo, I hope that you're doing well. So lunar eclipse in Taurus is happening in your 9th house. And lucky you, Virgo, you're not going to be so impacted, and if you are, in a more positive way. So a legal situation may be coming to an end, and overall 2022 most likely is the year when this stuff finally ends for you. Whether it's a legal situation or maybe it's immigration, there's something connected to other countries, other cultures, or maybe again legalities, that is very important to you, and it hasn't been easy on you either, for the last couple of years even. You may have felt a lot of pressure there, you may have felt all kinds of different delays and just issues overall, now it's starting to shift. There may be some unexpected piece of news that comes around that is very, very shocking almost, that it's happening now. It's like you expected it later maybe, or expected it a little bit differently, but it's all happening now. For example, there is some kind of a sudden news that may come around that you should travel right now, that you need to travel right now, and it's best to do it right now. That could be the case. But at the same time, it could be that finally things are coming to an end, and it requires your engagement, right? It requires you to kind of drop everything you're doing and focus on this one legal thing, or focus on this one immigration thing. This can also talk about your school, for example. It's funny because around this time, around this lunar eclipse, my husband is finishing some classes, and I feel like this can also be, he's a Virgo rising, so this could also be, something that is a big deal to you, something that will impact your professional field later on, something that will maybe make your resume look better. But it's culminating, meaning that there is something where you can just check it and be like, yes, I've done this, I've got my diploma, I have passed this exam, but it's a lot of nervous tension, even though this eclipse is considered positive, relatively positive for you, right? It's making a trine to you. At the same time, it's about a nervous tension too, with Uranus being there, with Mercury. Your mind is gonna be racing. You know, you may have a hard time possibly sleeping around this eclipse. You may be very nervous about your tests, or about this legal thing, or about this immigration interview, for example, but it will all be fine. I just think that 2022 is like the year, you know, to complete all those things and possibly start, I don't know, traveling, or maybe open some new doors for yourself. Also, if you've been exploring other belief systems, religions, and so on, you know, this could possibly conclude something for you. Like, you've been experimenting, you've been researching, you've been trying out, you know, different belief systems. You know, for example, when I had things happen, and actually I am having things happen in the 9th house anyway right now, because I'm a Pisces rising, the opposite sign. I've studied like Christianity, Buddhism, paganism, and things like that, so maybe you could be doing something like that. But with this eclipse, some kind of insight comes to you, and it makes more sense now, like, oh, this is what is mine, this is what resonates with me, this is my belief, you know, this is the belief system that I want to basically, you know, have for the rest of my life, something like that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now I'm moving on to Libra. Hi Libra, hope that you're doing well. Your eclipse is happening in the 8th house. Oh, interesting one, right? Eclipse in the 8th house. Well, I believe that if you have depended on something or someone financially, if you've been receiving money, or, by the way, if you've been needing to depend on something or someone financially, this can go either way. You know, this can cut off that supply, or this can increase that supply. Because for those that lacked, it can actually bring a passive source of income, or someone's assistance, someone's help, for example, government, right? Or maybe parents, or a marriage partner. There may be a major change in marriage partner's finances that impacts you directly. This can also be, like I said, for those that weren't lacking, those that were receiving. This can work kind of the opposite way. You know, this can cut off that supply and actually find you new ways on how to manifest the source of income that you need, new ways of making money, you know, getting stability, getting your security, everything that you need. For those that maybe relied on a certain source of income that maybe they weren't necessarily earning, 2022 could be like the year when these things change and you no longer have to depend on anybody. Something is working out there for you in the background that's allowing you to just make your own money and be successful and be independent and so on and so forth, right? Now, aside from the financial point, this could possibly be maybe a long-term battle regarding property, regarding inheritance, that is finally coming to an end. The battle has been maybe for a year or so, has been going on for a year or so, for maybe a couple of years, but it's been a challenge. And now, you know, things are finally ending there, and maybe even ending in some sort of an unexpected way, because Uranus is involved and so is Mercury, right? So there's just a little bit of everything there. On another note, this eclipse can feel intense if you are experiencing some sort of psychological traumas, okay? This is a good time to start healing them, to pick up those old traumas that you don't even want to face, and go to a specialist, go to a therapist, go to whoever you think could help you. You know, it can be a psychiatrist, it can be a psychologist, it can be someone else, right? Maybe like a Reiki healer, maybe even like a massage therapist, you know, someone that can relieve certain stress, certain tension that you have going on. And you know, I've heard that acupuncture can actually work for that. I've only had one session for the traumas. You know, I've had only one session, so I can't really speak about, you know, how great that is for you, but I know that, you know, acupuncture does offer that. And I actually should probably sign up to go there again, because I love the effects that it gave me just with one session. But, you know, what I'm trying to say is that 2022 could be a year where you may have to face certain troubles that have been living in your subconscious, and find ways how to start healing them. Because it seems like there is a block in the road that's not quite letting you push forward, not letting you move forward, because of something that hasn't been worked through, and you need to start moving that block, you know, away from your path. And 2022 is the year to do so, I believe. So thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Scorpio. Hi Scorpio, I hope that you are doing well. Lunar eclipse in your 7th house. I just told Taurus that 7th house to me, 1st house to me, are just like an umbrella, you know, under which we get all kinds of different events there, all kinds of different situations. You know, it can be manifesting as quite literally anything, right? It could be, for example, starting school, finishing school, getting pregnant, giving birth, divorcing, or getting married, or meeting the one, or moving, or winning the lottery. I don't know, negotiating, right? Going through some kind of legal stuff, finishing up legal stuff. So much can happen there, guys. But you know, at the end of the day, you are a financial sign. Taurus is a financial sign. There's something regarding your financial stability that it will be decided this year. And you know, in order to improve that security, that stability, in order to gain something from this, something needs to be let go of as well. And considering South Node has been transiting your sign, right, there are some patterns that we need to cleanse, some patterns that we need to let go of. Now I'm not a Scorpio, but you know, I'm just saying, and I'm a Taurus though, and you know, this lunar eclipse in Taurus is about basically letting go of certain contacts, maybe that have been like a roadblock to your success. And I'm not saying that you have to go and cancel meetings and you know, break up with people, block them and things like that. No, but I believe that if you feel with all your heart, especially Scorpio rising, that certain people are not there for good, they're not there to support you on these beautiful new journeys, by the way, that 2022 has been giving you. I don't know if you've been using those opportunities, let me know down in the comments, but 2022 should have been releasing you of certain patterns that could have been roadblocks, and it's letting you kind of cleanse of certain blockages and step on the new path, something that's better for yourself, something that's more stable for yourself, especially Scorpio rising people, okay? But Scorpio sun also, you know, identity crisis on one hand and yet excitement on the other, that new things are starting to happen, new things are starting to manifest in this life. And gosh, you know, maybe things have been so difficult, especially with squares to Saturn and opposition from Uranus. But at the same time, you know, well, things are actually picking up, and picking up in a different way. Maybe a year ago you didn't expect, you know, for things to be picking up in a way they are, slowly but surely right now. But yet it's happening, and it's going to continue happening all the way until July 2023. But even March 2023, you're going to experience significant relief. But, you know, before that happens, we're still in this lunar eclipse cycle, and just a eclipse cycle. And I will say that, you will be pointed at, or I should say certain connections will be pointed to you that maybe require your reevaluation. A certain negotiation can come to an end finally, certain legal situation can come to an end, but also a certain relationship can come to an end, or it can take a next step. And once it takes that next step, or I should say before that relationship takes the next step, it can be, you know, a little unexpected, the developments between you and another party. But it leads to stability somehow. And if you feel like a connection that you have with someone is stalling you, like blocking you from stability, if anything, it's only bringing chaos into your life, then I believe that this cycle of eclipses is going to make sure to get rid of that person for you. But if there is someone there that is, you know, opening their heart to you, that is supporting you, that is there for you no matter what, I believe that this eclipse can only strengthen that connection, and it can show you, with the help of Mercury, with the help of Uranus, you know, if you're doubting this connection, it can show you what you could really be missing out on if you decided to leave this connection. So I know it's a little confusing what I'm trying to say here. We'll see what happens, guys, but I think it's just a life-changing cycle, and overall 2022 is very life-changing. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Sagittarius. Hi Sagittarius, I hope that you are doing well. So your lunar eclipse is happening in the 6th house. And yes, I believe this is work. I believe your routine is shaken up a little. For the last year or a couple of years, you know, maybe you've been dependent on a certain situation that kept your routine very specific, if that makes sense. It's like you couldn't really do much about your life, about your lifestyle, because you depended on something heavily, you know, and now things are changing. Now it's like, yes, you know, Uranus is doing its thing, finally breaking away from Saturn, allowing you to change things up, allowing you to really liberate yourself from a certain prison, you know, almost like a 8 of Swords type of energy from tarot, where you can release yourself from a very limiting position. It could be talking quite literally about a job, very limiting position at a job where you want to move forward, you want to change things, you want to better something at your work, and nobody is letting you. It's like you have to either follow a very specific set of rules, or, you know, things are not shifting, you're not getting your promotion, things have been very, very stagnant. So this is done now. This is changing in a very unexpected way too. Okay? Now, from a negative standpoint, I would say that watch your health around this time and your nervous system, actually, because Uranus is involved, Mercury is involved. You could be feeling really anxious around this time, not knowing why. You could feel nervous tension. You may not be able to sleep very well. But overall, you know, I would say that this could, like a health concern could come up. Yes, it could. But at the same time, a health concern could finally go away around this time with proper treatment, with something that you find that makes total sense now. It could also be some information that comes around about someone or something that you could not expect. It's like it was hidden from you and now it comes up. Why do I think this could happen? Because the 6th house is opposing the 12th house, right? And we have a lunar eclipse. So the opposition between sun and moon. So the sun will be in the 12th house for you. And that can mean that some unexpected information, some kind of secret can come up as well. Also something related to immigration, for example, where you need to acquire certain documents, you know, that can also come up. And overall, for example, documents to apply for a job, you know, you could be busy with that, and that opportunity can come to you very unexpectedly. And I cannot deny the fact that, you know, anything that's related to a job, and especially to stagnation at the job, it can manifest as things changing within maybe the management, you know, things things changing at the job, or things changing in your professional field, kind of, you know, maybe you deciding to leave, maybe you deciding to give up, not give up, but change the direction. Maybe you don't want to work in a corporate world anymore. You know, maybe you want to start your own thing, for example. Taurus is a financial sign, so it's all about your stability, your security, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to change to gain that stability that you've been deserving. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Capricorn. Hi Capricorn, I hope that you are doing well. So your lunar eclipse, you lucky, is happening in the 5th house, and you know, on one hand, it's like, oh yeah, that's you know, 5th house is house of romance and creativity and, you know, joy and children and all that stuff. But then the eclipse itself is heavy. You know, it's with Uranus, it's with Saturn, it has an opposition to Mercury. So I feel like a certain relationship will come to the forefront, and it's most likely of a romantic nature, but it could also be a friendship since it's opposing the 11th house. It's some kind of surprising information that comes around, unexpected information. It will pinpoint to you what to do next about this partnership, about this connection, whether it's again a friendship or a romantic connection. If it's a romantic connection, you will be able to decide whether or not to take it further and have to make a commitment out of it, basically. If it's a friendship, but there is some kind of financial undertone to the friendship, maybe you are trying to, for example, collaborate with a person. Maybe you're trying to start some kind of a work project with a person. So this eclipse will shine its light onto the situation about these people, and it will basically get you to understand what you need to do. You know, do you need to drop these people? Do you need to continue working with these people, or, you know, dating them and things like that? But something unexpected could come around that you will either like or not like about these connections. Just, you know, putting it out there. Another thing that can happen here in the 5th house, that you may finally find out you're pregnant. Of course, it depends, obviously, not for everyone. Let's be open-minded about, you know, who can watch this video, but I do have to mention it. It's the 5th house after all. And a major change can happen, or give birth, of course, you know, give birth, but take care of yourself if you are pregnant right now. Just take care of your nerves, because this is a nervous eclipse, okay? There is Uranus involved, there's Mercury, and even though the eclipse is making a trine to you, you know, at the same time, still there may be a lot of nervous tension around this eclipse. Nervous system can be kind of compromised around this eclipse, so just relax your thoughts, even if you're not pregnant, okay? But overall, you know, if you have your own business, or if you're trying to start your own business, this can be a very beneficial time to do that, actually. You know, and I know it sounds crazy, because how this eclipse is so intense, but at the same time, well, intense or not, but something can come up very unexpectedly. An opportunity can come up very unexpectedly. Maybe for some people it will involve quitting a job for a company to start your own thing. For some people, it could be quitting your business to start working for a corporate world. That can also be the case. We're all different. So yeah, some things like that. Overall, though, 2022 is the year for you to start doing what you want, to start doing what you love, what brings you joy. Something that allows you to kind of shine on stage and showcase your talents, you know, or maybe to finally, you know, decide that your priority, for example, is to have children this year, and you'll be given all those opportunities. So overall, I think it's a pretty nice cycle of eclipses for you. It's pushing you to do something relaxing for yourself, something that is for fun, for joy, for creativity, right? For something of your own. So try to enjoy that, you know, try to be open-minded to it, because you deserve it, really. But thank you guys, especially Capricorn rising, you know, for Capricorn sun, this eclipse is making a trine to your identity. You know, you're just gonna feel more stable somehow. You know, some opportunities will be coming around that will only add to your stability, to your security in this world. But thank you guys so much for watching, and now we're moving on to Aquarius. Hi Aquarius, I hope that you are doing well. So your eclipse is happening in the 4th house. That's an intense one for you, right? Just for the rest of the fixed signs. And this one in particular is going to finally decide something, or I should say something is going to be decided connected to property, connected to your living conditions and your career. Why career too? Because, you know, the 4th house is opposing the 10th house. We've got sun on one end, moon on the other. It's a lunar eclipse, so it's an opposition. And of course your career, your professional field is also going to be involved. I believe your role is changing. Overall, your role is changing in 2022. Just like for Leos, you know, you may no longer identify with the role that you currently or had before 2022. And it could be that you've been wanting to have that role for a while, but a certain circumstance was not letting you have it. You know, there was like a block in the middle of the road, and now you're like pushing this block out, you know, and you're able to actually step into the role, step into the status that you've been deserving, that you've been needing to have through a challenge. Yes, how come life can be without a challenge, right? But at the same time, you are kind of getting into your own element here. And, you know, this could be maybe defending yourself in front of even your family, defending yourself in front of certain authorities, proving your own authority. And also, you know, if you've had any kind of blockages connected to property or connected to a move, I believe things could start shifting now, maybe in somewhat of unexpected ways. You know, that can be a possibility. But this can also talk about some documents finally coming through, some kind of inheritance news maybe coming through. And from what I've noticed, you know, some Aquarian people have been working deeply on their relationships with their family members, with their parents. If there is some sort of a damaged relationship between an Aquarius, whether sun or rising actually, and their family, you know, this year seems to be a lot more healing from them than other years prior. You know, this is almost like the time to sort out all those issues, all those childhood, you know, traumas, and to really come together with the family. And I believe this could be a wonderful time to do so if you wish. On the other hand, this can also, did I mention a move? Yes, this could, you know, indicate a move. But also, since North Node is transiting your 4th house throughout the whole year, maybe it's time to focus on family. Maybe it's time to focus on your own family. Maybe, you know, you've been wanting to start a family, but you couldn't find the time for it. It could actually mean, quite literally, especially for Aquarius rising, that maybe career ambitions need to be put on a back burner just for a little while, and the focus should be on family, you know, to spend more time with your loved ones. And there could be something unexpected that comes up that's like, all right, yep, I'll be home, you know, I'll be with you. It could be an ultimatum. It could be an ultimatum, for example, from a marriage partner or from someone that you share a home with, because they want that attention from you. They want you to be focused on the home. And it could be an eye-opener this time around that, yes, I do need to focus on this. This is my life, right? And you could again, like, work through certain issues with the family members or someone that you share a home with. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now I'm moving on to Pisces. Hi Pisces, I hope that you are doing well. So for you, lunar eclipse is happening in your 3rd house, and I'm completing certain studies around this time. You know, I'm gonna have probably like 2 weeks after the eclipse, and then I'm starting an internship. So, you know, that's kind of like an ending, but at the same time a new beginning. So I would say that for those that are in school right now, this could be exciting because this eclipse is making a sextile to you. It's giving you a green light. It's giving you an opportunity to do more with that area of life. And for us is the third house, which is, you know, studying, learning new skills, short-term or short-distance trips, short-term trips as well, you know, creating different contacts, networking, working on different projects, you know, working in a team, getting acquainted with a lot more people and a lot more things to do, I guess, in life, you know, your social circles and things like that. So yeah, you know, there is a lot that could come as an opportunity in those areas. And if you have, by the way, siblings, you could come to some kind of an agreement around this time, but this can come to you very unexpectedly. This can be a conflict at first between you and a sibling, but then you and them are going to come to some sort of compromise, okay? It can start as a conflict, but then you're like, all right, you know, we need to work on this together. I don't necessarily have a situation like that. You know, my half brother is 15 years younger than me. We're best friends. Really, I don't think that this is gonna be relating to me, but if you do have siblings that are maybe closer to your age and you had maybe some conflicts in the past, something could come up here. But also this is the year to finally solve those issues with the siblings, right? To kind of go through all the conflicts that you may have had with each other and to heal that relationship. But it's not gonna be, you know, resonating for everybody, with everybody. Again, you know, maybe you're completing some kind of a course, school, whatever that may be. Maybe you're receiving a diploma, but because there is Uranus involved, because there's Mercury, you know, in opposition to Mercury, there is a square to Saturn. You may have it, you may find it difficult to kind of defend yourself, stand your ground and prove yourself. You may find it challenging. You may have a lot of nervous tension there due to Uranus and Mercury. You may feel like you're not necessarily noticed very well. You know, maybe you feel like you're not recognized. You know, there may be some social circles that you are engaging with, but you feel like it's all for nothing because maybe, you know, the contacts you're making, they're all empty and nobody is noticing your efforts, and maybe they're not necessarily considering your skills as something serious. You know, this could be this like mind game here, unfortunately. But, you know, especially after March 7th, 2023 and July of 2023, you're gonna feel a huge relief, you know, from Saturn in your 12th house, and maybe even from this whole, you know, transit of nodes in the signs of Scorpio and Taurus. Because while right now you may be gathering the skills, the knowledge, the wisdom, you're accumulating maybe certain contacts, I don't know, you're networking heavily, in 2023 you'll be able to actually use that. You'll be able to use the knowledge, you'll be able to use all the skills, use the networking connections, whatever, you know, to either start something of your own, like your own business, or maybe to get your dream job or something. And Saturn leaving your 12th house is going to help you get noticed, get recognized. You know, you're not going to have that feeling like they're not noticing my efforts, you know, they're not noticing my knowledge, my wisdom, my skill. You know, after March 7th, it's gonna be a different story because Saturn is going in the first house. But I will talk about that in the yearly forecast that I'm working on. But what I can say, yes, is that, you know, you are preparing the foundation now, you're finishing stuff up. Maybe it's not quite the time to really shine yet, but it's headed that direction, and 2023 will be the year to shine. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.